So hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to break down this playbook, Create Escape, which was given by Creators Collective. So basically, I went to an event hosted by Dhruv and Puvi, and in that event, there only 15 creators were selected, and in that event they thought about different concepts related to content creation. How these famous creators, Dhruv, Puvi, who have over thousands of followers in their social media pages, how they create content and how what they have learned in this process of creating content. So this is the playbook, and in this playbook I am going to break this playbook down. I'm going to explain what I learned from this playbook. So let's be really quick because there's a lot to know. So the Creators Collective. Now, the very first thing that the very first thing that they hooked us up in the event is that this whole shit, it isn't a class. Now, the moment I came to that room, the only thing, the first thing that I realized was that this event's goal was me to realize how many different perspectives go into this game. That's that can be considered the overall brief of this event, because I learned a lot in different ways. So this event can be a way where I learned how different perspectives go into this game. So so the when we came to this event, the first thing that we learned was that documenting your life is one of the most best journeys. I'm not joking, it's really fun, but it's one of the slowest, because at initial stages you'll be thinking, okay, I'm not getting progress, man. I think, hey, am I doing this right? And that's when people get demotivated, and then they stop working their ass out. But yeah, so if you want to document your journey, and if you're documenting this shit because you want to go viral, then you're doing wrong. I'm not joking, it's serious. If you're going to document this shit and you're documenting this shit just to go viral, to get attention, then I think you're doing wrong, because people here, they don't even give a shit about what you're doing. If you can't provide value to these people, they don't even give a shit about your existence. So, if you're documenting your journey, do it to impact people in positions similar to yours. Give value. Give value, and then you're going to get profit. Give value, they will give you, that your desired like, your desired follow. Give value to them. If you can't give value, then fuck off. They'll just say fuck off. Yeah. So, if now you guys, if you want to start documenting, there are several parts in it. Right now, take a piece of paper, take a piece of pen. I don't know, don't give me any excuse. I don't know if you're in a fucking metro, I don't know where you are. Just take a piece of paper, take a piece of pen. Let's break it down together. So, part one, we need to find our perspective. What is that uniqueness that we can bring into our content and makes us a step ahead of others, or makes us much more different than others? Because no shit you're going to win by copy pasting. You need to bring in something, unique. It doesn't mean to be the most creative stuff like a bang, eureka, yo, I got some shit that is way cooler than any. It shouldn't be that. It should be that single small unique point that is different from others. So find that perspective. Find, to find that perspective, identify what you're building. So if you identify what you're building, then you can go search to that. And when you search to the content related to what you're building, identify that what you can do in unique that nobody is doing. And then second thing, you have to create a specific detail that highlights your personality. Now you can take my example. I try shit every day. I try doing shit every day. I keep working my ass out. And that's something, a specific highlight in my personality that I believe I don't know what you guys see in me, but you have to create something in your content that can be your that identity. Okay, let me just say it in simpler words. David Goggins, motherfucker who works his ass out. Iman Ghazi, great at marketing. Daniel Martin, genius when it comes to explain shit. And Alex Ormuzzi, again good at marketing. David Frogati, good at dropshipping, but he's good at business. He's good at getting brand deals, sponsorship from, he got Pokemon integrated in his hoodie. He's good at getting those sponsors. And think about other shit. Umar Punjabi for trading. So, that specific thing that they bring in the content that highlights what their personality is, that's the thing. That's the thing you need to identify in your content. And then, what would I want to provide to someone who is in exact position that I am in 8 years ago? Okay, let me say it in simpler words. So, what should my content provide to that one person who is in the exact scenario which I was there years ago? You need to give that value, because ages ago I was not doing content. Then I searched people doing content. I understood how did they move their ass and come into this stupid camera and start talking shit. Because at that point I didn't have that confidence, and maybe looking over 4 to 5 videos in YouTube brought me that confidence. So yeah, you need to provide value to that. You need to just provide value to the person, or your personal person who's just like you but in another place, in another scenario, but he's living the same scenario which you were years ago. So you just need to give them the value that you had to you would be pleased to get at that time. So just identify that value and then give it in your content. Then part 2 is ideation. So ideation is like, you have to start thinking. Now, I've talked this shit. I've talked all of the specific details that I learned related to personal branding, and I understood how what is that basic framework that I need to adopt for personal branding. But now ideation is that that nightly practice where you take a piece of paper and then you write what happened to me today, what am I avoiding, what has surprised me, and what I'm scared to share. So when if you're writing these personal journey, when you share these type of information, then you will somehow get idea. And ideation is a process where you're breaking down what happened to you, what you're doing, what you did wrong, what you're fearing to do, and then you're going to break it down, understand yourself, understand the inner voice. David Goggins always tells, listen to your inner voice, because your inner voice is telling you what you actually want. So listen to that inner voice and work on this shit listening to that inner voice. And that's this ideation process, as identifying that inner voice, identifying what that inner voice wants to provide in this content, and then boom, it's your page. You know what you have to do. Just listen to your inner voice, identify what it wants, and boom, bang, you create content. And now, one more major thing is, stop scrolling Instagram, start watching YouTube. I have an Instagram page where I put so much valuable content, but still, I recommend. I accept this fact in that even they told that start watching YouTube, because YouTube has videos which are 10 minutes, 20 minutes long. And obviously, if you're clicking on a video, you're forcing yourself to watch that video so that you can get that value and store it in your brain. And that's why if you watch these videos, stop scrolling Instagram and start scrolling through YouTube's content with long videos, you're gonna sit there and you're obviously going to watch value. And that's, YouTube has a lot of time, it covers a lot of time where the creator can give a lot of information. When he gives a lot of information, he's not limiting himself, and he's just open his creativity, what and all is coming in his brain. And when he opens all of his thoughts, you're going to learn much more than him compressing all of his thoughts and expressing it in 1 minute reel. So start watching YouTube, and then understand how it flows, how the workflows goes. And then part 3 is to organize your content into three buckets. I mean, not three. I mean, you can do more than three, but I recommend you to do three, where you have three buckets. Bucket 1 is, what's the thing that you make even if it took a full day? What's that content that you will make even if it took you a whole day, but you're ready to work your ass? Because I love to create that content. Even if it is high effort, I think it's worth it, and I love to create that content. And bucket 2 is, what's just you what's just you talking that you could genuinely do most days. So your consistency bucket. See, majorly you can't upload reels every day, or you cannot create YouTube videos every day. But what content that you can create mostly every day? I mean, almost every day, not every day, and maybe three, 4 times a week. Then that's going to be your consistency bucket. It's going to keep you up every day and hooked to your work and help you, identify new ideas for your content. That's why I generally don't want to say this documenting my journey. I just want to give you guys value in my videos, and that's why I create these videos. And then bucket 3, what's the lowest effort thing that still shows you are alive? So bucket 3 is where, what's the lowest effort thing that still shows you're alive. So sometimes you just need to bring in that content in pipeline because you have less time. So you just need to identify what content that you can put with lowest efforts, and then it shows that you're still fucking alive. I mean, people, if you stop putting content, people will just think, right, yeah, this guy is dead. So create these 3 buckets, start working on it. I mean, there shouldn't be any excuse for you to not to work on it. And giving this video short, one thing to take with you, just don't quit, bitch asses. Just don't quit. Because there'll be thousands of opinions saying that, why the hell you're doing this shit? Why the hell you're trying so much? What's the point of giving so much efforts? What's the point of going hard in life? Just say, you are on your bed, I'm working my ass out. And regardless of the fact even I get success or I don't get, but I'm proud that I'm working my ass off. And that's the only thing that you need. So keep grinding your ass. See ya.